Welcome to the Craftsman Cafe. I'm Jim Connell, and I'm here with Mike Foster from Duxler Libertyville Tire Center. And Mike, so when did you get into the business?
I have been in the business about 30 years.
Wow.
Started as a parts puller at Montgomery Ward's.
Really?
Pulling parts for mechanics. Back in that day, they didn't have computers. You couldn't look up parts. You had to do it all manually. And from there, at Montgomery Ward's, I got into tire sales. I've never been a mechanic. I've been involved in the tire end of it. And from there, I got more into sales and management.
That's great.
Yeah.
How did you come to owning or buying Duxler?
I've been at this location in Libertyville since 1990. I started as the manager of this location. After about 10 years, the owner, Woody Duxler, was really ready to retire. He had no part in the business anymore. So we sat down and I said, you know, I think I'm at a point where I'd like to own this and do this for the rest of my life. And we put a nice program together. I couldn't have done it without him.
God,
and,
that's cool, man.
Now I own the company since 2007.
Okay.
And it's been a blessing, really. It's,
wow.
You know, we're very blessed to be in Libertyville too. It's a great area. We have great customers, great clients.
Yeah,
and,
so you've been here quite a stretch.
25 years.
Has it been the same location?
Same location.
Okay,
25 years.
Got it. So Mike, you told me a story about a gentleman in Libertyville when you started or was thinking about taking over the business. Give us the background.
Sure. When I was first thinking about buying the business, and I went to Bridgestone and told them what my plans were. Bridgestone wasn't 100% comfortable with the fact that I didn't have a lot of collateral. And I had a customer who was just an amazing man. And Nick had always told me anything that I needed, let him know, and he would do what he could for me. So in the first 2 years of business, Nick and I were partners. And Nick came in and said, if this is what you need to satisfy Bridgestone, I'm your guy, I'm your partner. I'd love to be involved with you and help you grow and move forward. And it was tremendous. Obviously, it got me to where I needed to be. Yeah. And we didn't ask for a lot. All we needed was a line of credit to satisfy Bridgestone. Yeah. And again, Bridgestone is a phenomenal company, and they've just been tremendous to me and helped me grow out the years.
It's business,
but
it's
business. This was a friendship, and this was a customer who became like a father to me. Wow. And unfortunately, Nick developed cancer, and he died way too soon. And we weren't able to fulfill our partnership for a long period of time like we would like to. But in the short time we were together, he gave me so much great advice and business experience, so to speak, of what direction I wanted my business to go as the sole proprietor.
Wow, so he was just a customer that came in that loved what you did, loved the way you treated people. Yeah. He's not a relative.
No.
And you struck up this friendship. How long did you know him?
Nick and I probably knew each other for about 15 years prior to becoming a partner.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow. And his family, you know, I've done things with him and his family, and you know, again, it's basically my luck, so to speak. I was lucky with Woody Duxler when he gave me the opportunity. I was fortunate to meet Nick, and Nick was such an upstanding person to give me the opportunity with him. And it's been great. But that just gives me the desire to do good things because people help me, and I want to be here to help other people.
That's awesome. That is an awesome story.
It's a great story. Great story.
And what was his business?
Nick was in the printing business, Ambrosi Printing. He owned about 3 square blocks downtown Chicago. He used to print catalogs for some of the major department stores. I don't want to say names, but big department store catalogs. Wow. Yeah.
What a cool
Terrific
story.
Man.
Now, one final question on this because I'm fascinated by how people get started.
Mm-hmm.
You had to have big balls to call that guy.
Yeah, I guess I did. I never thought of that.
I mean,
Well, you know, it wasn't just a phone call to say, hey, I need your help. We had talked prior to that, and we would go to the races together. In fact, one of the best things was I'm into open wheel racing, and Nick was into NASCAR.
Okay.
And we always would grudge each other whose racing series was better. So we had a bet that if Nick would go to an open wheel race, I'd go to a NASCAR race.
Oh, wow.
So we went to the Chicago race downtown, and then we also went to the Joliet race to see open wheel racing. And I went to one of the NASCAR tracks. I can't even remember the name of it. I don't care about NASCAR racing. Yeah, in Georgia, around Georgia. And it was just great. You know, it blossomed to a friendship. And then we would have that conversation about, he was always curious about what my goals were and what my desires were to, not only for myself, but for this business.
God, I love that.
And it was awesome.
That's
it was a great story.
I tip my hat to
It's a neat
Nick.
story. And I'll tell you another great story because we're on the subject.
Yeah,
and it goes back to customers and people who have touched my life. There was a gentleman who started out as a customer of mine about 20 years ago. His name was Rick Joseph. Rick owned Joseph Construction. And Rick was a bodybuilder, and he was a son of a gun. And you never knew if you pleased Rick or not.
Okay.
But I always admired him for his professionalism, and I knew his home repair building company was probably second to none.
Yeah.
Okay. And Rick and I became very good friends. Unfortunately, Rick developed an illness, and eventually it got to the point where he had to sell his business and he passed away. But prior to that, Rick had bought a Corvette, used Corvette. We always talked about cars. One night I sat in the office on the phone with him when he was at his house. He wanted to buy a Ferrari. And we were on the phone and on the internet finding Ferraris. And he ended up finding a yellow Mondina in California. And he bought it and had it shipped up here. So after that, as I told you, I have a Corvette. Well, the reason I have a Corvette is because of Rick Joseph. And Rick bought a Corvette, and he met my Corvette group of people. My best friend owns a performance Corvette shop in Mundelein.
Okay.
So Rick had his car done, and we were at a show in St. Charles, and Rick came up to me and said, let's walk around and look at these cars. And we're walking around, and he would ask me, what color do you like? What model do you like? What interests you in these cars? And, you know, we were just talking.
Sure.
And I went on vacation in July that year, and I came back from vacation, and Rick was on the appointment schedule to have a Corvette inspected. And I called him the day I got back, and I said, what are you doing? You already have a vet, and I know your car's not finished. It's still at my buddy's shop because we were on vacation together, so you can't have it back, you know. And he said, well, I'll tell you what. I want this car. A friend of mine saw mine, and he wants me to buy one for him, and he's looking, you know, so I found this one. I want you to do your thing and go through it, and then tell me if it's good, and I'll let the guy know he could buy it. Fine, no problem. So Rick shows up, and I ask him the information about the car, and I said, wow, that's the color I want. And then he says, yeah, and it's a convertible. I said, oh, man, that's the car I want. Yeah. And then he said, oh, by the way, it's 6-speed. And I said, geez, I hate your friend. That's exactly the car I want, you know? So for an hour, I look over this car, and I honestly, God, Jim, I couldn't find a thing wrong with it. And I looked at Rick, and I said, you know, what are you doing here? This car is perfect, and your buddy is going to get an absolute cream puff here. So he says, okay, that's great. And, you know, now here's Rick with his personality that you couldn't read. He says, after we lower the car down, by the way, can I talk to you in your office? Because I was here while you were on vacation. Right away, I'm thinking, oh, who messed up? You know, what happened? So we go in my office, and he closes the door, and he takes out an envelope, and I'm thinking it's a receipt or something for the work that was done. And it's a letter talking about the friendship that we've had over the years and how it's grown from a business relationship to a friendship, and how happy he was that that Corvette checked out perfect because that is now my Corvette. Rick actually bought me a Corvette, for my birthday and gave it to me when I got back from my vacation.
You gotta be
And
kidding me.
we went round and round for 3 hours about nobody does this for anybody, and there's just no way I can accept it. And one of the funniest lines in his letter was, "I'm glad you like it. If you don't mind, can you give me a ride home?" So I drove him home in my new Corvette, and we sat at his kitchen table and talked for hours about, I just can't accept it. It's too much. And he told me,
How do you get your mind
the next morning, the sooner you accept that I give you this gift, the sooner we could move on. And you could start doing your customizing and tell me all about it. And unfortunately, I think at that point, Rick knew he didn't have long to be with us. And this is the kind of guy he was,
Wow,
you know.
that's a touching story.
And it was just amazing that somebody did that for me. And that's how I have a Corvette.
Gosh.
A Corvette I'll have forever, obviously.
Amen.
Yeah.
Wow.
My plates say, "Thanks, RJ," because it was really something special.
Do you guys work on motorcycles?
We don't.
No.
No.
Okay.
That's
a very specialized.
That's a very specialized field. And even the tires, believe it or not, Bridgestone makes motorcycle tires, but
Okay.
it's a separate division altogether, so we
Yeah.
don't cross over into the motorcycle.
Okay.
You know, we send them to a lot of people we know who work on them. But,
Got it. Okay. What kind of Harley do you have?
I have an Ultra Limited,
Okay.
which is the big full-dressed bagger.
Okay. Done any tours with that
Yeah,
bad boy?
yeah, we have. You know, of course, we've been to Sturgis. We've been out to the Smoky Mountains. We do a lot of riding in Michigan, a lot of riding in Wisconsin. I'm part of the McHenry County Hog Chapter.
Okay.
So we have a lot of different people who we ride with. And,
Cool.
you know, I think all my best friends are Harley owners now. And, you know, but it's great. I even got my daughter who was working at the Harley Davidson dealer in McHenry, and she's
Okay.
managing the motor clothes department. So, you know, we have nice tie-ins with them as well.
Yeah, that's great.
It's kind of neat.
That's great.
Yeah.
Does Bridgestone own Firestone? Or
Yes, yeah, Bridgestone bought Firestone.
Okay.
So Bridgestone is the parent company.
Got it.
And we're what they call an affiliated dealer, which means we're totally independently owned, but we supply we sell Bridgestone Firestone product. We use a lot of their marketing programs, their warranty programs, and it's been a marriage for years, and I'm you know, super happy with the Bridgestone Firestone people.
That's great.
It's a great company to do business with. And this affiliated dealer program has really given us a real leg to stand on in terms of being independently owned, but having some good backing behind us.
I was in last week and getting coffee, of course, and you have a few plaques on there. The one that stood out to me was, I can't remember what you call it, but it looks like you won a pretty prestigious award.
Yeah, we're a 5-star certified dealer. And at the time that program came out, we were the 3rd shop to be nominated and initiated into the program. And it's all done by your customer service, the quality of work you produce,
Okay.
and the types of tires we sell and service, as well as equipment, training for not only our sales staff, but our tire technicians and our actual service technicians.
Got it.
So they have to stay on top of their training, and our sales staff has to stay on top of training to continue to be in the program every year. And we're on our 5th or 6th year right now.
Wow.
Of continuing that
How many?
5-star.
Is that a nationwide deal?
It is becoming more nationwide through Bridgestone. Originally, it was a very select small group of dealers who were, as I said, nominated, and then you had to be accepted into the program. So we were honored to have it.
That's great.
We
Congrats
really
on that.
Thank you.
How many bays do you have here?
We have 10 bays, 10 service bays. We have 3 general service bays, we call, which is tires, oil change, light automotive, brakes, batteries, bulbs. And then each technician, we have 3 ASE certified technicians.
Okay, what's that mean?
ASE certification is the training and the school that our technicians go through. That's Automotive Service Excellence.
Okay.
And we employ the ASE certified techs because I feel that when people are paying for service and people are working on a car, they need to be knowledgeable and they need to know what they're doing. We'll never have a high school kid doing your brake job, for example. That's done with a qualified technician.
Okay.
So those 3 technicians each have 2 bays that they work out of, and then we have a dedicated alignment bay.
Okay.
So
How many employees do you have?
we have 13 employees.
Wow. Okay. Full-time? All
All
full-time?
full-time.
Wow. Well, it's a cool business. I started, this is a long time ago, but I worked for Waukegan Tire when I was a kid. And it's funny because you mentioned all girls. I have 3 girls. So I've often thought to myself, with the experience at Waukegan Tire, I didn't know a lick about cars. I could probably barely change a tire. And I learned so much, not only about business, about customer service, about quality, about relationships, and all that stuff that a kid learns, but just the mechanics of a car and not being intimidated by it and everything. And I've often thought to myself, I think this would be a great job for, I don't know that my daughter would want to do this, but but I think it'd be a cool thing for one of my kids to get involved with, to learn about cars and stuff, because it's highly valuable. Now, when we were talking the last time we got together, you were mentioning this scholarship that you guys do, and that really struck me. I thought that was a cool idea. Can you tell the audience a little bit about how did that come to be, and what are you doing exactly?
Well, about 5 years ago, we decided that we'd like to help a high school student from the community, Libertyville High School, to get a little extra money for college. And what we did, being that we're an automotive facility, we decided to give it to a student graduating who's going to go on to either a mechanical future or a vocational training, hands-on, so to speak.
Right.
So every year they have to fill out an essay at the high school, and we let the high school pick the recipient.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we don't want to be unfair, and the high school does it for us. And then we give $1,000 away at the graduation scholarship event.
That's cool.
And we call it the Duxler Libertyville Tire Scholarship. And it's been great. It's a very good feeling to get back to the community and know that you're helping a student who needs a little bit of a help.
Absolutely.
To move on and move forward. Yeah.
Right.
We've been real pleased with it.
And we need more people in this business, the vocations, generally speaking.
Well, I tell you, we're losing that. We need these guys who aren't afraid to work hands-on.
Right.
And as far as vehicles are going in terms of computers and downloads, and there's still a lot of hands-on that needs to be done. We've got guys who have to change tires and change fluids and repair the vehicles after they're made. So.
Yeah, I was listening to an interview with somebody, I can't remember exactly what it was, but they basically said, obviously cars aren't what they used to be, but they described it as it's a computer on 4 wheels.
Yeah.
And the implication of that is mechanics, engineers have to go through a lot of training and really be sharp as it relates to how to work on these vehicles.
Yes.
Because
that's so true, and a lot of it is us. We all want creature comforts, right? I mean, we want heated seats, we want cooled seats, we want dual climate air conditioning, we want DVDs, we want the biggest stereo system we could get. And all of that is electronically controlled, and somebody has to fix that. The little things, backup cameras, bumper sensors, things of that nature. We never had that before.
Right.
And now you could pretty much fix a lot of cars by doing a download and changing the settings of the computer. We're fortunate enough that we subscribe to General Motors and Ford and some of the import subscriptions so that we could do the downloads.
Okay.
And if we have to tap into the computer system, we could do that.
Got it.
A lot of people don't realize that from an independent Firestone, so to speak, that we have the ability to do those types of repairs.
How many customers do you roll through here in a day on average?
We probably run between 30 and 50 a day. Wow. With the different services that we offer.
Yeah.
Not everybody's having major repairs.
Right.
But You know, what's great is we get customers who stop in for a cup of coffee. They don't even need anything. They come in and say hello in the morning. You get a hug, you get a handshake. How you doing? They're on their way somewhere. They stop by and say hello. That's the best feeling I think a business owner could have.
Well, that says something about what I like about your space here is it's super clean.
Thank you.
That's one of the things I noticed right away. It's comfortable. And you guys kind of go out of your way for making it convenient as far as, you know, I walk over to Panera while you're doing something and grab coffee and you call me or text me, whatever.
Right.
All those little things make a big difference.
Good.
What do you, so from a service perspective, you cover the gamut. I mean,
We do cover the gamut. We do everything from, you know, your basic oil change services. We do all your 30, 60, 90K mileage services, just like the dealer would offer. We have access to all of the manufacturer's recommendations.
got it.
And
Okay.
we could do everything, again, from the oil changes to engine replacement. But we do a lot of brake work. We do a lot of diagnostic work. We strive to do the emission test repairs to keep us rated high for the Illinois emission team.
How does that work?
Well, as you know, your vehicle has to go
Right.
through an emission test every 2 years. And the Illinois environmental team put together a booklet. And if you were to go in there and fail, you could look up in the book repair centers in your area.
Oh, okay, got it.
Who do the repairs. And we're ranked, an A rating, a B rating, a C rating. Tells you how many cars we send through, how many passed, and what our rating is. And we've always strived to keep an A rating. You know, we want to make sure that when you bring your car in for that failed emission, you have nothing to worry about. Not only do we repair it properly, we will run it to the test lane before we give it back to you to make sure that when you pick your car up, you've got the pass certification, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it for 2 years.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. You know, it's a little extra that we do to make sure that once you leave, you're satisfied and everything is good.
That's great. So I noticed you have a little van or something.
We have a Kia Soul.
You have a Kia Soul. Oh,
That is our courtesy shuttle.
Kia Soul. You walked across the street to
We
get that.
literally did. Walked across the street and bought it from our landlord. But we will drive customers to work, to home, to the mall, to a restaurant. When they come in and have service done, if it's going to be a little longer than they expected, we'll run them just about wherever they need to go. We also we'll go pick up vehicles. If somebody needs us to go pick their vehicle up to bring it in for service, we jump in the courtesy car. Two of us want to go get the car, bring it back, and follow the other. It's a service. We try to make it as easy as possible for our customers.
That's great, Mike.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thanks so much for
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for
getting
having
together
me.
and chatting about your business. I
Thank
find I love entrepreneurs. I love business owners because there's always something going on and you're accustomed to.
There is, and it's very neat to have a personal relationship with your customers.
Yeah.
And that's something that we've strived for a long time. Years ago, I told people I always want to be the guy in the place that when friends are having coffee and that subject comes up, they talk about us and send people our way.
Yeah.
You never want to be embarrassed of what you do, and we're very proud of what we do, and we're very proud of the relationship we have with Libertyville and our surrounding communities and our customers.
That's awesome. Well, you've worked hard for it. So thanks again
You're very welcome.
for getting together.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk soon, man.
Good. Thank you.
That's a wrap.